Hi, I'm Vance, and welcome to Repair and Replace. Dishwashers have a drain pump that drains the tub between each cycle. If the pump is faulty, then the tub will not drain properly, and in some cases, it will prevent the dishwasher from running at all. The pump might fail or might be clogged and unable to drain properly. Alternatively, any blockage in the drain hose can also prevent the water from draining. In this episode, first we'll learn how it all works. Then we'll do some initial checks. Finally, we'll see how to test and replace the drain pump. Thank you to Frigidaire for sponsoring this video. Let's begin. Most dishwashers work in the same basic way. It's a tub with a spray arm that showers your dishes with water. There's an element to heat the water, a pump that circulates and sprays it, and another pump that drains it. By combining these simple components in different ways, the machine creates its various wash cycles. Let's take a look at a typical pre-wash, main wash, and rinse cycles. When you start a program, a pre-wash begins. First, the drain pump runs to clear any dirty water from the sump basin. Next, power is sent to the inlet valve, which fills the tub with warm water. This cycle does not use detergent and is usually heated only through the hot water supply. Once it fills, the circulation pump forces the water through the spray arms. The spinning is driven by the water pressure. This washes away any large food particles. Next, the drain pump runs to purge the dirty water. During the wash cycle, the tub fills with water again. For a high temp or heavy wash setting, the heating element will raise the water temperature to improve cleaning performance. Next, the dispenser releases the detergent, which dissolves into the water. The circulation pump runs and sprays the dishes. This will run for up to an hour. Then the drain pump clears the tub. Next is the rinse cycle. The tub will fill and the dishes are sprayed again. Rinsing, and on some models added heat, help remove any remaining residue. Finally, the tub is drained and the dishes dry. If the drain pump fails or if it's blocked, then the water will not drain properly. Using a multimeter, components can be tested for continuity. A successful continuity test proves that electricity can pass through the circuit. Without continuity, the component will not work and will need to be replaced. To begin, you might need a screwdriver or nut driver, pliers, and a multimeter. You might also need channel lock pliers, an adjustable wrench, and a socket set. Keep in mind, there is some variation between models, and not all dishwashers will have the same parts. You can enter your model number on the AMRE Supply website. This will bring up a model breakdown with the exact replacement parts listed on the side. If your sink has problems draining, it's best to address that first. Any blockages in the drain or garbage disposal can also prevent the dishwasher from draining properly. As well, make sure that the drain hose is not pinched or blocked in any way. You can remove the drain hose to see if there's anything stuck inside. First, shut off the breaker to disconnect the power. In some cases, you can unplug the dishwasher. Now shut off the water supply valve. This should be located under the sink. It's also a good idea to wear cut-resistant gloves as there can be some sharp edges. It's best to clean the filter and sump basin to make sure that there are no blockages. First, remove the lower rack. Now remove the spray arm. Use a flat blade screwdriver to release the tabs and simply lift it off. In other models, you might have to unscrew the assembly. If needed, remove the mounting stem. This might be held in by screws, or might just take a quarter turn to unlock. Some models have a glass filter which you can remove. Other models have a filter ring, which might be held in by screws. Use soapy water and a brush to remove any grease or food particles from the filter. If there's an impeller, then use a flat blade screwdriver to stabilize it while you unscrew it. Now remove the impeller. In this model, the food chopper is underneath a plastic assembly with a mesh screen. Remove this and clean it. The chopper blade is slotted under the motor shaft and should just lift off. If the blade is damaged or corroded, then it's best to install a new one. Finally, clean the rest of the sump assembly. If needed, align the chopper blade onto the motor shaft. Replace the chopper filter screen. Align the impeller onto the mount. Now tighten the mounting screw. Take the filter ring and align it onto the mount. If necessary, replace the screws. Some filter rings will just slide into place. Now replace the glass filter. If needed, replace the mounting stem. Align the spray arm onto the mount and snap it into place. In other models, you'll have to tighten the mounting screws. If the dishwasher still isn't draining properly, then you'll have to access and test the drain pump. To access the components, you'll have to remove the dishwasher from the cabinet. These steps may vary depending on your model. Loosen the clamp to remove the drain hose from the sink. If there's a spring clamp, then you'll need to use pliers. Now feed the hose through the cabinet. Unscrew and remove the lower access panel. Next, unscrew the water supply line from the inlet valve. In some models, the valve is located in the back and is only accessible once you remove the dishwasher. Unscrew the cover to the junction box. Next, remove the wire nuts. Now unscrew and remove the ground wire. Unscrew the strain relief. Now remove the wires. Open the dishwasher door and remove the mounting bracket screws. You might need to adjust the leveling legs to lower the dishwasher. Now carefully slide the dishwasher out. To avoid scratching the floor, you can put a flat piece of cardboard or a drop cloth under the legs. Now tilt the dishwasher onto its back. If your model has a bottom pan, then you'll have to remove it. Remove any mounting screws. Now release any mounting tabs. Next, lift off the bottom pan. If needed, disconnect any wires. We can test the pump motor while it's still mounted in place. It's always best to take a picture of the wires for reference. Now disconnect the wires. Set your multimeter to the resistance setting. Touch each probe to each terminal. There should be a resistance reading of 10 to 100 ohms. If there is no continuity, an infinite reading, or a resistance in the millions of ohms, then the pump has failed and should be replaced. A continuity test will only show if the pump has failed electrically. It's still best to check to see if there's anything jammed or blocking the impeller. If the pump has failed the continuity test or does not spin freely, then it's best to install a new one. Some models use a small capacitor to help start the motor. This might be located on the motor or off to the side. The capacitor stores and releases an electrical charge, and even without power, there's still a risk of shock. Use a resistor or a screwdriver with an insulated handle to touch both terminals. This will discharge the capacitor. Now, remove the wires. Next, unscrew and remove the capacitor. On the side of the capacitor, you'll see the capacitance rating in microfarads. This is what we're referencing. Set your multimeter to the capacitance setting. Now test between both terminals and wait 5 seconds. If there is no reading and no continuity, or if the reading is more than 5% of the rated value, then the capacitor is faulty and should be replaced. When replacing a capacitor, make sure to match the rating exactly. This will ensure that the motor works properly. Next, align the capacitor and secure it into place. Now reconnect the wires. Disconnect any remaining wires. If necessary, remove the drain hose. It's still best to check to see if there's anything stuck inside. Next, remove the mounting screws. In some models, you might have to press down a tab or twist before you can remove the pump. With the pump removed, make sure there is nothing stuck inside. The pump might have an O-ring or a larger rubber gasket. If the new pump comes with a new gasket, then it's best to replace it too. Align the pump into the mount. Now tighten the mounting screws. Now replace the drain hose and make sure the clamp is secure. Finally, reconnect the wires. Align the bottom pan into the mount. Press in to lock the mounting tabs. Now tighten the mounting screws. First, feed the drain hose into the sink cabinet. Gently slide the dishwasher into place. If necessary, adjust the leveling legs. Tighten the screws to secure the dishwasher to the countertop. Now connect the drain hose and tighten the clamp. Make sure that the drain hose has an elevated loop above the connection. This will prevent water from flowing back into the dishwasher. Feed the wires into the junction box and tighten the strain relief. Now connect the ground wire. Next, tighten the wire nuts to secure the wires. Now replace the junction box cover. Attach the water supply line to the inlet valve and tighten it into place. Finally, replace the lower access panel. Turn on the water supply. Next, reconnect the power. Now it's best to test the dishwasher to see if it's working properly. You can start a cycle even without any dishes or detergent. If this works, then cancel the cycle and run a full load of dishes. If you found this episode helpful, then subscribe to our channel. And when you need a replacement part, you can get it online or in one of our AMRE Supply branches. Thanks for watching.